What I want to do in this 5-part series is look after you, hold your hand, give you my tips and my shortcuts, my ducks and my dives, and really focus on the basics of the best turkey. I'm really proud of that. The best gravy, the best potatoes, absolutely delicious. And then the veggies, look at that. Desserts, retro beauty, party food. The whole idea of this is great combos that you stab. And if we do this together, I promise you, this is going to be one of the best Christmases you've ever had. So welcome to my Christmas. Okay, here we are, the big deal, Mr. Turkey. I've got the slow-growing variety, and I want to show you what I'm doing this year, and also go through the absolute definites that you must do to guarantee yourself a juicy, beautifully cooked turkey. So, first and foremost, I'm going to make flavoured butter. I'm going to be using dried cranberries. Just chop for about a minute. Right, I've got 2 fairly decent-sized rosemary sprigs here. About a tablespoon of thyme, and then I've got sage. I want you to sort of fairly finely chop these. Okay, I'm not going to season it with salt. A good pinch of pepper, and a 1/4 of a nutmeg. 1 pack of good quality butter. And literally all you have to do now is scrunch it up. And remember, you're not going to eat all this butter. It's going to end up going in the tray. The point is what happens on the journey out. And you just get this bit of skin here, get a spoon in there, and you can just literally part the skin and the meat. See what I'm doing? It's really easy, and then what I can do is once that spoon's in there, I can kind of push it around, and you can go pretty much as far as about here is good. See how easy that is? So I'm just going to ferry this butter up here, just push it in, and then you just literally just have a little massage up. You know, I would do this the day before, so this is Christmas Eve. Never do it on Christmas Day, you haven't got time, no way. And then all I would do, just to guarantee that this skin doesn't slip back, is I just get a bit of rosemary or a skewer. I just secure here like that. I don't want that going anywhere. Now, in the cavity, I'm putting no stuffing at all, right? It really blocks the heat, cooking this baby predictably, consistently, and frankly, safely, okay? What I will do, however, is put a bit of Christmas inside there, which comes in the form of a couple of clementines. It's not going to stop the hot air getting in. What will happen is it will steam a little bit and it will smell of Christmas, and that will actually help flavour this bird in a nice way. Right, stuffing. I want to give you a way that is really simple, really quick, and packs a really good flavour punch. So literally, all I'm going to do is put that kilo of diced pork shoulder in a food processor, some sea salt, big pinch of white pepper, half a nutmeg, maybe slightly less than half, the zest of half a lemon, and just 2 or 3 strokes of an orange or a clementine. A big old bunch of sage, and 2 or 3 rashers of smoked bacon. Right, so 2 big white onions go straight in. Don't go buying breadcrumbs, what a waste of money. Just have some stale bread, and then we're going to wazz it up. So I'm going to use my hands now. See, I'm just scrunching it up. I'm going to save half of this stuffing back to put up the jacksie of my turkey, right? And then the other half of my stuffing, I'm just going to put in here like that. Now, chestnuts. I'm going to pour these on top and just crush them. So, there we go. This stuffing is really to go in when you put your spuds and your roasted veg in. Now, I've got one here that I made earlier, and for me, just have a look at that. It's bubbling, it's shrunk, it's gone crispy. I'm going to have a little try of it. Oh my Lord. quality British pork. Delish. Here's my stuffing. Here's the neck of the turkey. It is touching the bottom of the roasting tray, and it will get a really nice, good, you know, decent cooking. And just sort of tuck it in like that. So, there you go. Okay, let's talk about turkey cooking times. A good quality, slow-growing turkey will cook in nearly half the time of a regular standard turkey. So, for instance, this is about 6 kilos. I'm going to cook it for about 25 minutes per kilo, plus about 20 minutes at the end. Now, if that was a normal everyday turkey, that will be about 40 minutes per kilo, plus 20 minutes at the end. I cook it at 180 degrees Celsius, or about 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and I put the oven on full whack to start with. I'll put the turkey in now. The minute I close that door, I'm going to turn it down to 180. And then when it comes out, I'm going to show you exactly what to do in the resting, the carving, and kind of get your head around everything else you should be thinking about as far as bringing the whole meal together. Right, we're going to do gravy in a big way, and I want you to think about it in a new way, in a different way. And my wife, I've dragged in here with the little Petal. Same haircut, same stylist. Petal is 9 months old. She's not 9, she's 6 months, Jay, 6 months. She's 6 months old, is she really? Yeah. It felt like a long time. And she likes gravy as well, but through the boob. My wife is the biggest gravy fan in the world, and she's a pretty tough critic as well. She loves a roast dinner, don't you, Tiger? I love it. Okay, gravy. I want to flip gravy and the whole concept of it on its head. I want you to come with me. I will give you all the tips and all my sort of ducks and dives for the best gravy in the world ever. But also, not just the recipe, I want you to think about doing it at a different time. Not on Christmas Day. I want you to think about doing it 2, 3, 4, 5 days before Christmas, even a week or more, and have it done in the bag, either in the fridge or freezer, so it's one less job to do. You know it's going to be brilliant and mega, and also one less thing to wash up, okay? So come with me and let's make the best gravy in the world, okay? Hey, what's going on? Do you want to get involved? Hey? Okay, so here's the thing. Celery, carrots, onion. So I'm just going to roughly chop. Petal, start learning now, darling. Roughly chop your celery. I'm not even going to peel the carrots, just give them a wash. And then on the onions, I'm just going to take the worst of the paper, you know, the outside paper, because it's all going to go through a sieve. Jules, why is it that you're so obsessed by gravy?
No, I really don't know, Jay. I just love it.
When I give her gravy, I actually don't stop pouring for about 5 seconds. Yeah, and I even give her a spoon.
And I always say, no, I don't want that much. And then obviously I always go back for more and more and more.
She loves it. So I've got sage, just 5 or 6 leaves, fragrant stuff. Bay, just a couple of leaves. Rosemary's a real goodie for gravy, a couple of little sprues like that. And then 2 rashers of smoked bacon. That'll just give it a little smokiness hidden in the background. And then the secret ingredient, chicken wings. I'm just going to crack the bones, because obviously there's flavour not just on the meat and the skin, but also inside the bone. So that goes in. Come on! Okay, put a bit of salt in there, sweet pea. Just about a teaspoon. Bit of pepper, honey. 2 pieces of star anise. Just put 2 of those in and you'll be laughing. Roast this in an oven for about an hour, sort of 200 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I'm going to turn it into the best gravy ever. Now, this is what it looks like after an hour. Look, you can see it's all gone crispy. I mean, this meat here is the sweetest, most lovely meat, in my view, in the whole bird. So I'm just going to put this tray now on a high heat. See what's happening?
Yeah.
Right, so to thicken it, we're going to use regular flour. I'd say roughly around 2 tablespoons per pint of gravy you're going to make, right? And then give this about 25 minutes to simmer away. And of course, you extract all of that flavour. And as you can see, Petal is well into this. Any comments from you, Jules? Because I haven't really given you a word in edgeways.
I prefer the darker colour, if you don't mind me saying.
No, we'll go darker than this.
And there's no need to add a stock, is there? There's no need to add any kind of stock cube in this because I'd be so tempted to chuck one in now thinking it's not going to thicken.
Oh no, it'll thicken.
Something.
Yeah. I think with gravy, you just got to let it have time. Just time. So, 20 minutes later, we've simmered it away. I've kind of, every now and again, carried on mashing it, right, to extract as much flavour as possible. So, colour, can you see it's got deeper?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Right, goes into a sieve. And then, thanks babe. Just going to get a ladle and just run that through. And obviously, the one thing to remember is when you put that in the tray of all the turkey juices to reheat it, you're going to get loads more flavour again, so it's going to be almost like a double gravy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah?
It's like roast dinner in itself. Who needs the rest of it, actually?
Hello? Hello? Come on, in a 9. So basically, there you go. Amazing gravy, tastes delicious, right? Get some in a pot, let it cool down, pop that in the freezer. You can take this out on Christmas morning and it'll come to the boil within about 20 minutes, right? Put some in a little sandwich bag, lay it down flat. And the good thing about having it flat is it's only a centimetre thick, so you can reheat it within minutes from frozen. And, you know, I have a whole bundle of those in my freezer. Jules, do you think maybe you can make some gravy now?
I think I might try. Can I do it this year? Or are you
Yeah.
going to still take over?
Yeah. Excuse me. Mama.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you. Petal, it's been emotional.
Oh,
Come on, come back to me. It's all right. Daddy's back. It's okay. Can she try some gravy?
No, Jamie, that's ridiculous.
Oh, please.
No.
This could be the first bit of proper food she's had.
And that's on camera, damn it.
She's only human. Right, there she is. A beautiful turkey. Nice, crispy skin. You can see where the butter's gone in. So I'm really proud of that. Now, let's not take any risks. Let's just get a thermometer, go to the thickest part, which is right here, 65, which is perfect for this kind of turkey. About 82 for your regular turkey. Now, you pick it up like this. You want those juices in the tray. And then you put it onto a nice big platter. And I just leave it for 2 hours, literally. And that is 2 hours. That's like a 2-hour green light for you to get all your stuff together. Also, your oven's empty. So in go your roasted veg, in go your roasted potatoes, in go your lovely stuffing, yeah? And also, we can get this gravy finely done and dusted. So what I'm going to do is skim off that fat. I'm going to pour my pre-made gravy into this pan, okay? Really, at this stage in the game, I've got turkey done, I've got stuffing done. Have a drink and enjoy yourself. Because doing those jobs the day before, I think, takes a lot of pressure off. So, wrap the turkey. And then 2 or 3 tea towels, and I just throw it over. I remember when I was a kid, my mum used to put a couple of towels over it. This has come to the boil now, so really make a point of getting all those sticky goodness off the bottom of the tray, right? And what was already a delicious gravy has now got that kind of turkey stamp of approval and that little tweak. 2 heaped dessert spoons of your cranberry sauce per pint, right? You know, it won't taste sweet per se, but you'll just get like a background. Okay, so this little baby's rested now for an hour and a half. See how hot that still is? So first and foremost, let's get, you know, the wing off. And obviously, because it's rested, I can just pull that off and flake and pull that meat. But that's good meat. That's almost some of my favourite bits in there. Where this leg is separated from this breast here, I'm going to go straight down, use the fork or tongs to really remove this whole leg like that. There's the ball joint there, straight through it. To get a big old turkey drumstick there. So now you've got the leg out the way and the wing out the way. Length of the knife, use the tip of your fork just to secure the meat as much as you need it, and just do long, nice, almost like half-centimetre slices. As soon as you get halfway down, you can use that fork to secure it and just go all the way down and then nicely out at the end, and then use the tip of the knife and the fork to move that across. That's the old school style, okay? Now, let me show you the other way. You can feel here a backbone, okay? Feel it, and then go on this side of it. You just use the length of your knife, and you cut all the way down until you hit the bottom of the carcass. It's that simple. And what you're basically going to get is a massive, great turkey breast. Then you can go to the end of your breast, get yourself a sharp knife, and do those lovely long strokes that are so important with carving. And the fact there's no bone means that even the biggest novice can actually carve like a chef. Just a nice bit of gravy just over the top, just so it doesn't dry up. Roast turkey, cooked perfectly. Okay, we are going to make something with leftover turkeys. Me and my sis, my younger sis, I'll have you know, but she's always been like the boss, really. So this is quite nerve-wracking for me because we don't cook together very often.
You're in charge for once.
Yes.
Just this once.
Yeah, like if I can. Okay, here's the theory, right? You're always ending up with this little baby, you know. Don't buy the crown of turkey or the breasts, you know, buy the whole thing, have a great day with it, and then in the week after, you can do beautiful things. Yes, stews, yes, pies, yes, soups. And I want to do something a bit different and something with some flavour and attitude. I'm going to do basically like a kind of, I don't know, sort of South American sort of chili.
Is turkey not a bit dry to make a chili con carne with?
It was juicy in the first place. I didn't overcook it.
But they do dry out in the fridge, turkeys.
Correct. And see, this is why we had such a colourful childhood together. Once upon a time, I dared to question my younger sister. And do you know what I got in return? I got a jar of oil of Ulay right in my gob and it smashed out my teeth.
You did deserve it. You must have deserved it.
No, I just said one thing. Look, you're absolutely right. When you have exposed meat like this, it totally does get dry. And the wonderful thing about creating a stew is that you can reinvigorate. So hopefully you're going to like it.
Okay, could you do the same with goose?
Leftover pig, leftover turkey, leftover goose, leftover duck. Any more questions?
No.
Okay, here we go.
What shall I do?
All the brothers out there, you'll feel my pain. Okay, so I'm going to slice up. You can do it pan of action. Olive oil in a pan, sis. Okay, you can kind of, I mean, it's just general sort of root veg beginnings, like any good stew or soup. Carrots, leeks, onions. You know, it only really starts turning into something kind of South American and chili-like when we start adding the spice. There you go. Have a little toss-up over there, darling. Right, Tiger, we got red and green chilli that I've chopped up. You've got seeds in there as well. You can take them out if you want. I'm not going to. So I've got 2 onions here. To be honest, you could put all this in a food processor and just pulse it. Onions go in. Peppers. Basically, I'm kind of chopping everything around about the size of a chickpea. So we're going to add spice and attitude now. So just a flat teaspoon of cumin is pretty pokey stuff, so don't go over the top. Smoked paprika. Every household should have some. Seriously.
Well, I don't know actually.
Sorry?
I don't buy smoked. I prefer.
I thought I just heard some more questioning.
It tastes like hickory smoke, doesn't it?
That's the point.
So I prefer normal paprikas. Would that normal paprika be okay?
No. This sort of dish was born in a cast iron pot. You know, it's sitting there on a fire with like flames sort of licking the stew or the soup or whatever the thing it happened to be. So that sort of licking of the smoke kind of gave you that flavour. And so as we're in a kind of slightly boring, sort of sterile world of stainless steel and electric and gas, so you can put that meat in. So what was really nice about my childhood with Anna is Anna was an A-grade student and actually told the teachers what to do, and she got amazing exam results, and I was in special needs.
Actually, in our family, it's the girls are okay and the boys, well, you're okay, aren't you? But you weren't very good at school.
No. So, so it was a nice childhood, always being compared against your sister. Your younger sister, yeah, the really nice, clever one. What happened to him? So look, I want to put 3 tins of nice tin tomatoes in. Give it a stir, Anna. About 2.5, but you could put it all in if you wanted. I'm putting some butter beans in there and some chickpeas, okay? You know, that's the sort of cooking that I like now, is it's going to blip away. Blip. Right? And when you have a bright person, you'd say simmer, right? And you'd have the equation of simmering and what that means. And because I was always a bit special, I say blip, because it's very visual and it makes you feel good.
That is characteristic dyslexia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the oven it goes.
No lid.
No, because it's quite slow, for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, about 170, 180. Give it a check after an hour. You might want to feed it a little water. But what that's going to do is really intensify the flavours. Now, as I love Delia Smith, as everyone else does, here's one I made earlier. Right. See how it's kind of gnarly around the sides and sticking a little bit?
Absolutely delicious.
I want to have a taste.
You're checking the seasoning.
Right, I'm sure you've got a bleeding opinion. Right. See, I think that smoky paprika flavour has actually dissipated.
Must have an asbestos mouth by now.
Yeah, no.
And a very delicate flour.
Yeah, well, I've got an asbestos mouth because actually once upon a time someone rammed an oil of Ulay pot right in my gob to the point where my teeth couldn't protect my tongue anymore.
Didn't work, did it?
Yeah. Everyone always takes mickey at me talking funny, and that's the reason. That's there because I had no teeth.
So that is lovely, and the smoked paprika does work, so sorry.
Thank you. Now, also, another little
Let you
thing.
off.
Right, round the edge, all those bits, please, don't leave that for the dishwashing, right? All those gnarly bits, do you want that? And that's going to make it taste delish. Now, lime, acidic, vibrant, alive, Mexico, really liven stuff up, more coriander, fresh chilli, and there you go. I mean, nutritionally, I think probably everything's in there. Hardly any fat. You've got lovely carbs, you've got veg, you know, you've got herbs, you've got good meat.
Actually, my children could eat it at this temperature because it's not too spicy yet.
Sour cream, if I can get a word in edgeways. And then guacamole. And then a little bit more smoked paprika, just, frankly, just to really get on her nerves. And if you want to be a little camp, just a tiny bit of quality olive oil. There you go.
That is gorgeous.
That's a good result.
It is delicious. I really do think the smoked paprika works, actually. I've changed my mind.
Did that hurt to say that?
A little bit.
I really enjoyed that.
Not being so rude to me.
No, not you, this. I really enjoyed this. Brunches, lunches, snacks, bits, bobs, this, that and the other, all the lovely little special things in between the big hero dishes of Christmas. If you ever had the pleasure of getting that in your gob, it's going to put a big old smile on your face. Is that nice, Pops?
Yeah.
How nice?
So nice.
How do you know it's really Christmas time? Is it when you see a snowman?
Snowman.
Is it when you hear a sleigh?
No way.
It's not reaching in your stocking to pull out a sugar mouse. It's when the smell of roasting turkey fills the house. It's when the smell of roasting turkey fills the house. It's not reaching in your stocking to pull out a sugar mouse. It's when the smell of roasting turkey fills the house.
Okay, today we're going to be doing brunches, lunches, snacks, bits, bobs, this, that and the other, all the lovely little special things in between the big hero dishes of Christmas. And I have 2 little helpers today. What's your name?
Daisy, Poppy.
And where do you come from?
You.
These are my little girls. How much do you love these pancakes?
So much.
We're doing the most beautiful, fluffy, American-style pancakes, and the recipe works every single time. And this gets me big brownie points, doesn't it, girls?
Yeah.
Who wants to be the whisker?
Me.
Who wants to be the pourer inner?
Me.
Okay, just hold that cup up, Pops. This is a regular, as you can see, sort of teacup. That's your measurement, right? If it's a bit smaller or bigger, it doesn't matter because the milk and the flour will be the same measurement. So what I want you to do, Danny, is just pour some flour and fill that cup up. That's self-raising flour, so that's going to allow it to be fluffy and bubbly and spongy and go about 1 centimetre thick. Just run your finger off like that. There you go. Make it flat on top. That's perfect. It couldn't have been more perfect. Then pour it in that bowl. There you go. Then do exactly the same with the milk, honey bunny. So that's basically your measurement. It's a cup measurement. There you go. And then see if you can put that in there without spilling it. Careful, careful, careful. Yes. Just put a little pinch of salt in there. Okay, and then 1 egg. Yes! Now, Mrs. Whisker, can you whisk for me, please? And do little movements to start with, and then big movements when it gets mixed up. And the nice thing is that basically you can kind of spike the flavour. So if you just stop there, darling, I'm just going to grate in some pear, core and all. Everything goes in. That's nice. And just stir that up for me, please, sweet pea. I'm going to cut a little bit of butter off. Pop that in the pan here. And girls, just do us 3 little piles in there. There you go. Love to see the sharing going on. There you go. Beautifully done. You can almost see the bubbles come to the top. As soon as it looks kind of heavenly and lovely like that, just get under there gently and just commit to it and go 1, 2, 3, like that, and you can just press it down. 1, 2, 3. Thing about this is 1 cup, 1 egg, pinch of salt, mix it up, whatever fruit or no fruit, in the pan, fluffy, 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 looks lovely. And look, can you see how happy they are? Tell me what kind of flavours you can do.
Raspberry, banana,
Yeah.
blueberries, blackberries, strawberries.
Pig's bum. Pig's bum?
No.
Pig's bum pancakes is delicious. Have you never tried pig's bum pancakes?
No.
Okay, so there's the first one. And, you know, literally 3 tablespoons will be more than enough to get these girls going. Should we cook some more?
Yeah.
Let's put a little bit more butter in. Who's the best cook, Mummy or Daddy? Just remember that Daddy knows Santa Claus more, okay?
Both. Both.
You have to choose one.
I can't.
Who cooks the best cakes?
You do.
Who cooks the best pasta dishes?
You. What about eggs? Mummy's good at eggs.
Oh yeah, who does the best eggs?
Mummy. He does. You.
You ready for these?
Yes.
Okay, madam. That's basically what you get. A really lovely, sort of thick, fluffy, beautiful pancake. Put a nice bit of yoghurt on the back here. Just there. And then get some honey. That's probably enough honey for you, honey bunny. That's your one, missus. And there you go, a beautiful, easy, win-win every single time, fluffy pancake. You know, that's enough for about 6 to 8 kids, 4 adults, easily. Is that nice, Pops?
Yeah.
How nice?
So nice.
Who's the best dad in the world?
You.
Why?
Make pancakes.
Right, I'm going to do a great dish now. You could have it as a starter or as a snack, especially at this time of year, because we're going to do a seared carpaccio of beef, which is delicious, with wonderful roasted squash. It's a real knockout meal. Put your chopper right in the middle, hands on the top, and just kind of go like that, and then carefully just rock it. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little spoon, hollow that out there like that. Really nice. What I'm going to do here with these seeds is just pick through them, take the flesh off. They'll go like kind of a cross between peanuts and popcorn. A little bit of olive oil in the pan. There's no point in chucking them away if you've got the possibility of flavour. Whatever you do with squash, I always start off the same. I basically get it in half, get it on a flat surface, cut it in half again, right, and then get it as a quarter, and then we're going to cut it in half again, and basically do that for all of your squash. And then I'm going to season it with spices. About a teaspoon of fennel seeds, about a teaspoon of coriander seeds, chilli. That heat from chilli sort of almost counteracts the natural sweetness from the squash. Bit of dried oregano. These sort of spices and herbs here, I think they just kind of, about a teaspoon of salt, they kind of just help squash be squash, do you know what I mean? Just makes it delicious. I'm going to sprinkle these here. Little pinch of cinnamon. And then I've got some chestnuts, you know, just squeeze those out like that. It is Christmas. And then olive oil. Just enough olive oil just to coat all of this, okay? And then I'm going to cook these for about half an hour, 45 minutes at about 190 degrees Celsius, 375, 400 Fahrenheit, until just lovely and soft when you pinch it. So really good. I've got some that I made just a little bit earlier, right? And they look like that. Have a look at those little babies. Now, we've got our fillet of beef. I'm searing it so you can get more fans on your side. The thing is, if they put it in their gob, they'll go mad for it. It's just getting it in their gob, do you know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go heavy on rosemary. Rosemary and beef, you know, they were absolutely, completely in love. Romeo and Juliet. Really quick, you don't have to muck about. This is one of the safest chopping methods you can do. And then you use the knife just to sort of gather it all up. I'm just going to season the table generously. And then I'm going to season it with salt. These seeds, I told you they'd start popping. Right, just let them, drain them from the fat. Brilliant. So, fillet of beef. I've got half a fillet of beef. You know, it's probably the equivalent of 3 generous fillet steaks, right? But that will do about 10 people. And then into this pan. And we're not looking for massive colour. We just literally want to fry that rosemary so it sticks to it. Okay, so that's about a minute and a half. Take it out, put it onto a board. Dressing, I'm going heavy on mustard, about a heaped tablespoon. Olive oil goes in, about 6 tablespoons. Then I'm going to go lemon. And then let's mix it up. So that's kind of what it's looking like. It's kind of marbled, good oil, good mustard, heavy on the lemon. Okay, let's do it. So sharp knife, but I want you to slice it as thinly as you can without ruining it. I'd rather you go slightly thicker and do it nicely than go really thin and sort of slice half of it and not the other half. So you can see that's slightly chunky there. Just use the back of the knife and sort of just flatten it. Don't worry about it sort of looking rustic. In actual fact, I promote you to make it look rustic. Just go around the edge of the platter. And then if I was doing a nice portion for that plate, you know, really, you only need 2 slices, just from a height, just a few little bits of rock salt, because it won't be seasoned in the middle. You know, you get that squash, and you can maybe put one facing down like that, and then one facing up. I'm just going to push it into it, right? Just like that. And I just take some chestnuts and put that, just bust them up as I put them around. Look at that. Take some of those seeds that probably would have gone in the bin, crunchy and hot, you know, so really, really good. Then you take the smallest amount of salad leaves, dress it in a little dressing like that. Make sure every leaf is covered. I'm just going to put a little mustard just around there like that. Classy, completely unexpected. If you ever had the pleasure of getting that in your gob, it's going to put a big old smile on your face. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Okay, I'm going to do a lovely snack kind of, well, brunch really, but actually it's not a brunch, it's going to be a lunch. So it's one of those things that, you know, I haven't done in a long, long time that I get really excited about. But before I do that, I want you to know that there's not just one beautiful woman in my life. There is a second.
Oh.
The one and
Show
only.
me.
Nanny.
How can you?
My nanny
Oh.
She's the best. We're going to cook a lovely bit of gammon.
Yes.
Do you like
yeah.
gammon, Tiger?
I do like gammon, yes.
And actually, her nickname is Tiger.
Yes.
All your friends call you Tiger, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
At Whisk Drive, do they call you Tiger?
Oh, no, I don't tell them about it, otherwise they might think I'm a bit of a rogue.
Yeah. Right, now, let me tell you what's going on.
Right.
Right, I've got some red-skinned, sort of new potatoes, OK? You parboil them, some salted water. We're just going to add a little pinch of salt, some pepper, and a little olive oil.
Olive oil?
Just a little olive oil. Do you use olive oil?
No, not for potatoes.
Well, you just jiggle them around, right? And once you've done that, put them in a tray, and then all I do is I'm going to bake it just like you would a jacket potato, but of course, because they're smaller, they only take 10, 15 minutes. So, beautiful bit of British blue gammon. What does blue mean? Blue means it's been salted in a brine, but it hasn't been smoked. So I'm going to sprinkle this gammon with some mustard.
That looks a lot.
Yeah, but I know, but you just bear with me, Tiger.
Oh.
Right, some pepper, a little bit of salt, and then I'm just literally going to rub this all over. The same principle works with chicken or even my favourite, rabbit. And I know rabbit's not like one of the most loved things in England, but it tastes like heaven if you know what to do with it. Do you like rabbit, Nan?
I do like rabbit, yes.
Did you used to use that a lot in the war?
Well, yes, if you could get them. You'd get a piece of meat about as big as a tuppenny stamp.
For a week?
Well, yes, only a tiny piece, really.
Tough, eh?
And you had to really make a fuss of it. The egg ration for a week was 2 eggs. One day I dropped one of the eggs, which was a tragedy. So I went back to the shop, I put it in the cup and I said, I'm sorry, this egg was bad. And they gave me another one.
So
I told a sort of a story, but you had to tell little stories in the war, otherwise you'd have starved.
I want to get this gammon cooking. I'm just going to put a lid on top of it to hold it down. If you've got a little bend in it or curl, and obviously you'll have some cooked bits and some sort of anemic bits, and we don't want that.
That's a good idea. I'd never think of putting a lid on it.
At the moment with my apples, whether it's going in mueslis or whether it's going in pancakes or whether I'm putting it in salads, I'm not ever decoring, because I learned that all the really good stuff's in the seed and the core, and I kind of think, well, if you're never going to notice it, why take it out? It's another job to do.
Oh, that's lovely, Amy.
Give it a little shake for me, Tiger. That's it. Just when you shake it, what I find is if you just wobble your bum a bit as well, that seems to make it taste nice. Yeah.
Do you think it ought to be turned over?
I think your instincts are very good, Nan. Look at the colour of that, guys.
Just right.
Turn it over. Nan, I want you to make me a dressing. I want a good teaspoon of honey in there, Tiger, a good pinch of salt and pepper, some quality olive oil, and then obviously with all dressings, you know, you want about 3 parts olive oil to 1 part acid. I'm going to put some eggs in, for some poached eggs. The one key to a poached egg for sure is fresh eggs. I'm going to take this rosemary off. I am using it as a herb, but actually when this goes crisp, it's delicious.
I must say that it looks much nicer than my piece done under the grill.
Oh.
In fact, I could eat that right now.
Yeah, well, you're going to, Tiger, don't you worry. I'm just going to take that over to the plate. I bet the gammon's doing that. So notice that rosemary's only in there for like 45 seconds a minute. Look at these. But that is what it's all about. Okay, then the apple goes in with the watercress, and then just pour your dressing in, Tiger. There you go. I'm just going to go into it and really gently sort of pick it up, twinkle my fingers, because good salads are all about finding your fairy fingers. Try a little bit of that, man.
Yes, I wonder what that
Eat
tasted like.
It's nothing other than a pleasure.
Oh, it's really nice.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It was almost like sort of finger food, like little
I'm
peanuts
going
and
to have
stuff.
another bit.
Here's our little poached eggs. You can just squash them, you know, get them, you know you cooked them right then. Look at that. Come and get your lovely gammon here. You know, you can get a bit of the old super cool, crispy mini jacket potatoes, all those sizes. And then you get your old poached egg, back that on there. And then a nice little wodge of your beautiful apple and watercress salad. For me, that, any time of year, is a nice little salute to old school.
If I did it, it wouldn't look as interesting as this. It makes you want to eat it, doesn't it?
Is this too big for you, Nan? Or do you reckon you'd have...
No, that's about big enough.
Just get it in there, girl. What do you think? I mean, you were a bit worried about that mustard. I mean, it's a nice flavour there, isn't it? It's quite mild.
Yes, it is. You can't taste it as such, can you? It just gives it a lovely flavour.
So, Nan, you're going to be 90 in January.
Yes.
What are you going to do when it's your 90th birthday?
I don't know, really. Something exciting, I expect.
Yeah? Go dancing?
Yeah, I could do that.
Bit of raving?
Oh, yes. You and me, Raven. We do normally, don't we?
Okay, me and my dad are going to make a delicious kedgeree, right? Kedgeree is such a fantastic dish. It's cheap to make, brilliant for breakfast, lunch or dinner, or cold leftovers, or for hangovers, Boxing Day, New Year's Day.
My favourite time is just after Christmas. You know, you've just eaten too much, you've had too much of everything, and you think, what can I have to sort of liven me up?
Yeah,
and
to get away from the Christmas
really
food.
The best for that.
Slap your taste buds about. Right, so that's what me and Dad are going to do. I've got 250 grams of rice over here, just boiling away, and then I've got a pan of water here. Dad, grab us a couple of bay leaves, mate. I've got the smoked haddock that I'm just going to plop in. I'm just going to poach it for about 6 or 7 minutes, and then I'm going to boil the eggs in here as well, just to make use of the same pan. The old man, giving it some as ever. And if you get us a little knob of butter, Dad. Yeah. Me and Dad used to cook together a lot because he was my boss. And he was a big endorser of slave labour at an early age, wasn't you, Dad?
Well, young boys, you've got to keep busy. And you wouldn't have the problems in the streets if the children were mine, because you've got to keep young lads busy.
I agree with you.
Don't give them a lot of spare time.
I totally agree. So, coriander. Some people hate it. I'd say they haven't given it enough chance, right? You've got the lovely soft leaves here, and then you've got the stalks here. Coriander stalks go in. 1 chilli goes in to the onions here. For the first 10 years, Christmas was open as the pub, wasn't it?
Yeah. Christmas was always a busy time. When I remember it now, it seemed that my head had just touched the pillow. And I could hear rustling, you know what I mean?
That was Santa.
Little feet of Anna and Jamie, and has he been yet? Has he been yet? Go out.
5 in the morning.
And they'd be shivering with excitement. And I said, "Is the pixie dust there?" You know what I mean? And they used to look for the pixie dust. Yes, it's there. You know. And we'd open the door, and of course, he'd been Father Christmas.
Yeah. And then you used to sing the Father Christmas is a good old boy song, didn't you? Father Christmas is a good old boy, a good old boy.
Yeah, they were, you know, happy memories, happy memories.
Right, this rice has had about 10 minutes, right? It's nicely cooked. Just get yourself some cold water and completely refresh the rice. Wash away the starch. By cooling it down like that, it kind of holds its shape. And then, Dad, if you can peel those eggs, I find with the eggs, I just give it a little tap and give it a little light roll, and then normally, if you're lucky, it will just peel straight off like that.
I was a little bit worried doing that because they're perhaps a little bit undercooked, but we'll see.
Chuck us a bit of that, I've got some Madras curry paste. Now, this is a really important, you can buy this in every single supermarket in the country, and I'm just going to use 1 heaped tablespoon, or fork like that, straight in. I find this does a really good job, and you know, if you look at this, you see the onions and the paste have just kind of cooked into one another, and at this sort of point, you see how nice and light that rice is now? Mix it up. But, you know, the paste doesn't sort of, it seems to stick on the outside of the rice, but not totally go all the way through it. So it's not like curry rice, it's sort of rice and this beautiful sort of paste. Then what we do is we have our eggs. Kedgeree without egg is criminal. flaking that fish in and around. Clank off most of these coriander leaves here, sprinkle that on top. Just squeeze a little bit of lemon in, and that little hit of, you know... Citrus is bloody good. What I like to do at this point is almost as if you were making like a sponge, just fold it. Because I don't like making it really heavy, you know, and just fold it 3 or 4 times and then pop it back for like 5-10 minutes on a low heat. And that sound, that's what you want. Then just a little extra chilli just on the top, just to say good morning. A few bits of extra coriander, and then time to eat it. Enough talking done. Here we go. You can see how lovely and light it is.
God, look at that.
Really good. Absolute classic little dish. And I like the way that the egg just sort of...
It's just right, isn't it?
Melts into it. And I'll probably just finish it. A few bits of the old curry. Go for it.
Can I go?
Yeah. I'll plate myself one up.
Fantastic.
Dad's going to break his tradition and have a little bit of the old Guinness. And then just a little swig of port. People might think that's weird, but, you know, don't knock it till you tried it. I can't believe I've just poured a publican the worst.
You know.
That is quality Essex head.
You wouldn't believe he grew up in a public house, would you, really?
I wasn't thinking, I was just thinking of McKedgery. I apologise on behalf of all Guinness pourers in the country. That is completely unforgivable.
You wipe your nose afterwards. Gorgeous.
We are going to do the best roast potatoes ever. Look at that. I have never ever tasted better.
In the days of the large appetites were large, as we read in history, and a gentleman wished for a wonderful dish to go with his cup of tea. It had to be comforting and with Asian mystery. Fish, eggs and rice and a blend of spice, and they called it kedgeree. Fish, eggs and rice and a blend of spice, and they called it kedgeree. Thank you very much.
Hello, lovely people. Thank you very much for coming to my house for Christmas. It's going to be great. Santa's coming, the tree's up. OK, what's the show about today? We are going to do the best roast potatoes ever, and I want you to be able to do it. And the trick to getting them, I've got a new way, using this little masher, right? Trust me, they're going to be the best ones ever. So, perfect roast potato. You need the perfect potato. And I'm going to absolutely endorse the Maris Piper. For consistency, this is where you want to put your bets. So go for this little baby. Once you've peeled your potatoes, cut them into the size of about 2 squash balls. That's what I think is perfect. And then what I like to do is wash all the starch off in some cold water, pop it in a pot of cold water, season it quite well with salt, bring it to the boil and parboil it for 10 minutes, right? And that is going to give you that sort of beginning of the fluffy inside, which is really, really important. Now, these have been cooking for that time, so I'm just going to go over here and drain it. Now, as soon as they're draining, if you look on the outside of those potatoes, see how it starts to go sort of steamy and sort of candy flossy, and that's going to make it really super crisp on the outside, and that is a good thing. The other thing I also do is just chop them up a little bit, and that even exaggerates that even more. Look at that. So you can see we've got a really good start to these potatoes. Now, the next bit is oil or fat, okay? There's 3 ways you can go. You've got olive oil for the healthy option. We've got butter, which is kind of good flavour, and then goose fat. Goose fat's lovely. What do you get by using it? you kind of get chewier bits, you kind of get tastier bits, and it's Christmas, so if you're going to indulge, you know, you might as well do it. Butter is more flavour than olive oil, but it kind of goes sweeter and creamier, and so I just put some butter in the bottom there, and then olive oil. Again, if you get a good, decent bottle of olive oil, you know, it's going to have good flavour in there, much healthier, and obviously you commit to whichever way you want to do. You want enough potatoes to coat the bottom of a pan, hit it with salt and pepper, absolutely using the sea salt and a nice bit of the old black pepper. Now, I'm going to cook this for half an hour at about 190 degrees Celsius, 375 Fahrenheit, until about lightly golden, and then I'm going to show you what to do with the masher, and that's going to make the ultimate roast potato. You wait. OK, the potatoes have had half an hour. They're kind of cooked, but they're no way near perfect. And this is where the new trick with any old masher that you got will work, OK? So I want to increase the surface area the potato has on the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to do that by going around these and just squashing them. Like that. I'm going to go here. Do it on this one as well. Here's our little goosies. And you might think, well, is this stage really necessary? You know, is it a palaver? Listen, when it comes to a roast potato, like, you don't want to muck about. I mean, you want it to be the ultimate. So I'm telling you, give this a try and you won't regret it. So what I'm going to do now is flavour the potatoes, OK? And I'm adding the herbs now because what I've worked out is that if you put them in at the beginning, yes, you get some good flavour, but the herbs go black and they're kind of not that nice to eat. But if you put them in halfway through, you get much more of a perfume of the herbs. And also, when you eat into them, they're a pleasure to eat and they're snappy and cracky and delicious. So I'm going to go with the olive oil potatoes, rosemary. And what I want to do is just add a little olive oil, just a tiny bit to the herb, and a splash of vinegar. Bear with me, the vinegar will totally cook away, but it's going to give the potato like a kick. And then some garlic here. There's just something about rosemary and potatoes and garlic. They're like a match made in heaven. Mix it up and then sprinkle it over the top. Listen to that. So there's one. And then with the goose fat, I'm kind of thinking, let's go a little bit of thyme, absolutely garlic again, without question. I've got a little bay in here. OK, olive oil again, splash of vinegar again, because it just seems to lift the flavour. And I'm going to do exactly the same as I did with the other potatoes. Now, the reason that I'm showing you these different variations is not because you should do different flavoured potatoes on Christmas Day, no. But I'm trying to just show you that you can put your own stamp on your spuds, so it's your best roast potatoes. Last one, butter. With the butter, I'm going to go for Mr. Sage, big whole leaves. Garlic, again, I'm putting in there because it makes magic things happen, and it is Christmas after all. Now, here's a little odd one. I've got a clementine, which to me, there's nothing more Christmassy than clementine. If you get the zest of one clementine and then get those peelings and just throw those in with your olive oil, and no, you're not going to eat it, but it will give it a kind of slap of flavour that you wouldn't normally get, and it's a nice little surprise, and I love it. Toss that, and then back over to here. Look at that. And then once you've done that, pop these back in the oven for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes, or until perfect to your eye, because they're nearly cooked now. But half an hour's a good one, and then when you see those babies and taste them, best roast potatoes in the world. You wait. There we go. So let's have a look at it here. We've got the rosemary, olive oil and garlic. See that? You've got that beautiful crispy layer there, which is really good. And then sort of the fluffy inside there, nice and fluffy. Let's have a little try. Absolutely delicious. Okay, let's go for a bit of the old butter action. We seem to have got, you know, a slightly thicker crust on that, and if I squeeze it, listen. Yeah, got a bigger crust on that. Beautifully, look at how fluffy that is in the middle. Just almost falling apart. Let's have a try. That is really different, actually. Of course, it's got more flavour. You know, the butter has. That is a really good roast potato. Oh, yeah. Right, let's go for the goose. Here we go. And you can see there, you know, the fact that we actually could be bothered just to squeeze it, right? It means that you've got extra exaggerated crispness. And then inside, you get that fluffiness that's just insanely good. That literally tastes like it's been roasted with a joint of meat. You know, it's got that kind of marmite-y sort of flavour. You get a chew on it and a colour on it that you just can't quite put your hand around, apart from it is better, it is tastier. So there you go, guys. You've got the olive oil, which are absolutely delicious, 10 out of 10. You've got the turbocharged butter ones, which are insanely good. And then you've got the goose fat, which is basically off the Richter scale. It's so damn tasty. What am I going to go for this Christmas? I think I'm going to go for this. I think I'm going to go for the butter. I've got to say it. I think it's a really good happy medium. That is the perfect roast potato. God bless the potato masher. I'm telling you, ridiculous. OK, so we're going to do roasted vegetables. And while we're doing the perfect roast potato, it seems like the perfect time to get your head around the perfect roast veg. It is dead simple. You parboil it for 10 minutes, then you've got to put a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, a herb of some description and an acid of some description in, and then when you roast that, it's so delicious you would not believe. And even though they taste different anyway, by using the different herbs, it just slaps it home. I've laid this out here to kind of get you thinking like the same way as I am. So fennel, lemon juice, olive oil, salt, pepper and thyme. Turnips, red wine vinegar, olive oil, salt, pepper and bay. Parsnips, white wine vinegar, olive oil, salt, pepper and sage, and then just a little honey at the very end. Carrots, clementine, olive oil, salt, pepper, rosemary, and then a tiny pinch of cumin really lifts the flavour for some reason. Beetroot, balsamic, olive oil, salt, pepper, and then oregano or marjoram. Garlic can go with any of those just to pimp the flavour. So let me show you how simple it is. This is all it is. Fennel, a little olive oil, squeeze a lemon juice, exactly like dressing a salad almost. Pinch of salt and pepper, and then some thyme. Simple as that. Give it a good old toss. So I'm just going to snuggle it along here, like that. So that's that one. Carrots. We're going to take the clementine. There's your acid. Olive oil. Your salt and pepper. And some rosemary. And again, just toss those up. And that's great flavour going in there. Parsnips. White wine vinegar. Olive oil. So normally when I'm doing this and not trying to teach anyone, you know what, this would just be stuff that's on my shelves. So glug, 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 splash of that, salt, pepper, you know, grab a bit of herb, bang it in. Some sage goes in. As soon as it's covered, onto the tray again. And then what we got, turnips. Everyone hates turnips. You know, it's such a shame, they're brilliant. Red wine vinegar, olive oil, salt and pepper. Right, bay leaves. Bay leaves, you know, go hardcore with it. Go 3, 4, 5 bay leaves. They really react well to roasting and vinegar and bay leaves. So there you go. There's your turnips. And then last but not least are our beetroots. I always blanch these separate because it will bleed colour. I mean, look at the colour of that water. You know, that would turn your parsnips to be red. But what we do in here, balsamic vinegar, so olive oil. With the beets, what I do is I boil those for about 20-25 minutes just because they're harder. Marjoram, good pinch of salt and pepper, Oh, I forgot my cumin on the carrots. Right, just toss up the beets. They absolutely love the balsamic vinegar. Just give them a shake. And all that lovely juice as well. And what you get is basically a mega mix of roast veg. I mean, you only need like 1 or 2 bits of each, and that will do 20 people. It really will, because you've got roast spuds, you've got your cabbage and peas and other stuff later, and when you've tasted it, it'll blow you away. I'm going to bang this in the oven for about 50 minutes until golden and beautiful looking, about 190 degrees Celsius, sort of 375, 400 Fahrenheit. Basically the same temperature and time as the roast potatoes. And then 5 minutes before the end, a little honey on the parsnips, and they'll go absolutely beautiful. Job done. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. All the colours. It looks like winter, sort of in a nutshell, really. I mean, the whole thing is that you're concentrating flavour. It's going crispy, but it's sweet and soft in the inside. And then all that sort of herb and flavour that you put on it is stuck to it. So, just look at that. I mean, a lot of people boil carrots. If you've had a lifetime of boiled carrots, you want to try these babies, because they'll sort you right out. Right, let's get the turnips in. Just pile those on. Here we go. Look at these beets. And then with these little babies, just going to bang those straight in the middle. Just bully everything else about. I mean, how many times in life can you say, I'm proud of 5 vegetables on the table that's going to absolutely get people going? No matter which way you look at it, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Roasted vegetables, please try them. And the thing is, you can do your own version of it, but the same principle as the potatoes. Parboil, add oil and flavour, and then roast it to intensify the flavours. Brilliant. We're going to do lovely leftovers, you know, when you get things like carrots or any roasted veg. I just wanted to do a little recipe to show you sort of nice, creative, sort of tasty ways of making them interesting instead of throwing them in the bin, right? Gennaro, look, we're not supposed to be turning over at the moment, filming, sorry, but Gennaro's trying to stitch me up because I always stitch him up, right? But I have got the homegrown chilies, so no matter what he comes back with, you see how shifty he looks when he comes back. Gennaro, come on, we're going to turn over now.
Okay. What actually I've done here, I just mashed parsnips and beetroots, put them all together, just mashed it all up. I'm going to season them a little bit, just a little bit of salt on it.
I love the fact that he's seasoned it on the board.
Yes, it is true. You know, there is a little bit of a balsamic vinegar, just to sweeten up and bring them alive again. All the flavour is inside here. And then I will drizzle a little bit of oil. Make sure it's all nice, extra virgin, full of flavour. Then it mix all together.
Okay, I'm going to slice up my fennel just to keep it a bit chunkier, but I like the idea of the mushing. I'm going to put it into a bowl, and then I want to basically redress it. So I'm going to do a little bit of basil, just roll it up, and just slice it up like that. So put in the basil like that.
Have you got my bruschetta?
Okay, really important. Right, get the garlic.
Yes.
As soon as that toast comes off the grill or the toaster, go on. A nice little local Italian, like my boy, gives it a little rub up. It brings the most incredible flavour, and then good olive oil. Anything from about £6 a bottle up is good news. And that is the base for your bruschetta. And then Gennaro's got his mush.
Yeah.
I'm going to go some chilli. I'm going to use mozzarella as well. So I always like chilli and mozzarella. Lemon juice, just to bring it back into a beautiful place. Olive oil for me?
Yeah, it's the olive oil for you. Now you toss it. Yeah.
Okay. While that toast is beautiful and hot, I'm going to put a nice lob of that old fennel from yesterday, and then
Nice.
just a tiny bit of mozzarella.
Good.
And just put a few bits of parmesan just over the top.
Oh, fantastic.
Right.
Did you want a little drizzle of olive oil on
Yeah.
top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it. So you see what I mean? You bring old things back to life. A little bit of chili. You want colour and fantasy. What are you going to do with yours?
Well, look, I got some lovely celery leaves. Okay, and then it's not finished yet. Then again, you know, for extra little bits of a colour, you just give them a little slice, like that on top. Just a little bits, because you don't want to disturb the lovely flavour. Drizzle again with some nice olive oil again. And look at that, my goodness me. My God, we
Beautiful. Give me 1 second. Let me do a little shot of vodka.
Yeah?
Here we go. Happy Christmas, mate. Chin chin.
Chin chin. Ciao. You done them again.
Beautiful bruschettas. Right.
Lovely
way to have leftovers. Swap.
No, yes, swap. I want to test mine as well. It's very good.
Thank you. Oh, you put it everywhere. That was so nice, and then I got that, blew my head off. Come on. I don't trust you.
No, trust me, it's not. Listen, touch it, buon Natale.
Yeah, I love Italians. Delicious, though. So I've got all the leftovers, the kind of stuff in here that you'd get after a roast dinner. I'm going to do Bubble and Squeak, a brilliant British classic. And then I'm going to serve it with a full Monty English breakfast. And we're going to do it in such a way that it's the same amount of calories as a large blueberry muffin, okay? Here's the thing with Bubble and Squeak, right? It can really be made out of any leftover veg. You name it, but the condition is that you need at least 50% potato. It's the potato that kind of cakes up and makes that brilliant patty out of the veg. And if you go down Borough Market and you go and see my girl down there doing the proper full Monty breakfasts, she'll be going bubble, 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 and be cooking for like an hour, and it'll be cooked so much that it'll be grey, and it will look like death, right? But when you put that in your mouth, la, you could be naked and not even know it. So, just going to mash up this veg here. Now you've done that, good non-stick pan. And as I said, you can get away with any veg in Bubble and Squeak as long as you've got 50% potatoes. So, here we go. Tomatoes, filled mushrooms, and then the meat. Here's the thing, if you want to get the calories way down, get yourself some back or streaky bacon and trim off most of the fat. And then on the sausages, they're so much better for you and healthier if you go for the 80, 95% meat sausages. And then I use these all the time now, brilliant. It's just basically an olive oil spritz, and then instead of putting a drizzle or 2-4 tablespoons, like half a teaspoon, just gives it a little mist, which is more than enough to make it non-stick. Put your mushrooms there, tomatoes here. Let's put the sausages in like this. Bacon, just put next to it. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. And then a little bit of a spritz up, just enough to cover it. Now, bang that in a grill or an oven at full whack for about 10 minutes. Now, have a look at this. Can you see how, like, the sides are just coming up? And if I just throw it over, right, that's perfect. See it getting crisp here? Absolutely beautiful. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but you can just tell by looking at it that it's going to be delicious. And then I've got a plan. I'm just going to get a spoon and make a little dent. Top, bottom, left and right. North, west, south, east. And I'm going to put 4 eggs in here, and instead of poach them, I'm just going to coddle them. I've got some nice free-range eggs. And the nice thing about this is, looks fantastic. It's not predictable. It saves you using a pot. Little salt, tiny bit of pepper, and then I just pop that in the oven for about 4 to 5 minutes. Beautiful. Come on, Gennaro! Put it out on a plate like that. Look at him, come on. All appreciate Gennaro Contaldo, the Italian stallion, ready for Christmas. Is this typical Italian Christmas wear?
It is indeed.
Come around and eat some of this, big boy.
Let's do it.
OK. My friend, that is for you. Have a little try. I'll do myself one. There we go.
I'm waiting for you.
No, don't wait for me, mate. Tuck it.
All right.
Do you like that?
I love it.
Look at that. Let's try this bubble and squeak. Here's the thing, right? Bubble and squeak is like, I don't know how to say this politely. It's an ugly old bird, do you know what I mean? You've cooked it down and down, it goes from being colourful to sort of grey. But when you taste it, try and explain what I'm trying to say.
Inside it is an explosion of a flavour. Wow! This is a pure, beautiful bomb. And I love it.
Do you like it?
I love it.
And, Gennaro, why are you dressed as an elf?
Well, it's Christmas.
Sticky, tasty, delicious puddings. It'll all make sense in the end. Mum, is there a better sight in the world than that? What more do you want? Happy Christmas.
Hey there, potato, why you looking so sad? Christmas dinner may be over, but there's still plenty fun to be had. I'm gonna give you a little tweak, turn you into bubble and squeak. Oh, bubble, 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 bubble and squeak. Oh, I'm a freak, I'm a freak, I'm a freak for bubble and squeak.
OK, today's all about desserts. We're going to do some gorgeous, gooey, fantastic desserts. Stuff you can either do in advance or stuff you can do around the Christmas time that's nice and quick. Right, I'm going to make a lovely leftovers dessert. I'm going to make this dessert with leftover Christmas pudding. You always get some, don't you? I've got some melted butter and I'm just going to brush on my phyllo pastry like this. A little bit of sugar from a height and also a light little dusting of cinnamon. To exaggerate a little bit of crunchiness as well, just like a handful of ginger biscuits. And then I'm going to put the next layer of phyllo on top. Just sort of hang it over by about 1 inch. You know, this is basically a vehicle for crunch. Right, once you've done that final layer, just press down. A little bit more butter. All I do now is I've got 400 grams of old Christmas pudding. Just break it up in your hands. And then what I want to do is just grate in some lovely apples. I'm using a quince as well, which is kind of like a old English kind of pear with a wonderful flavour of wild strawberries, like bubblegum, right? Any of those sort of pear, apple, quince type things you can do. We can add a little extra sugar, just a handful. I want to mix it up and break up that Christmas pudding, but also you don't have to over-mix it. And literally all I do now is sprinkle it. So I'm going to start at this end. I just want to roughly cover all of the pastry. Leave a strip here. You want to just like a light scattering of all this flavouring. Now, the one thing I'm going to do in there, because it is Christmas, is get half a pack of chocolate and just put a little bead of chocolate down the middle. Why? Because it's a nice little surprise. So that's basically what you got. Now, if I just move this over like that, just pinch it around that chocolate, right? That first little middle part is going to surround that chocolate, and then all you've got to do is this. Raving idiot can do it. Look at me doing it. Raving idiot I am too. Just pinch that end and just tuck it underneath. Like you're putting it to bed. Oh, bless. Nice. I'm just going to get a nice non-stick pan, brush this with butter, just to be doubly safe. You can kind of be camp and stuff. I just cradle it like a child. Just move it back and then back on like that. Brush this little baby with butter. And if you ever get like a crack like there, you know, if you've got a spare bit of pastry there, you can just plaster it. But it keeps all the juices in. And then just get some demerara sugar and just sprinkle it like that. And then all you do is bake that at about 180 for about 40 minutes. So this baby had about 42 minutes, and it's gorgeous. It's gnarly, it's split, it's kind of got character, you know, and it's going to be a pleasure to eat. Love that sound. I love the way it snaps up and cracks. So there you go, right there in the middle, you got the chocolate, you got the layers of pastry. Instead of making homemade custard with egg yolks and cream and milk and sugar and vanilla, just get ready-made cold, cheap old kernel custard with a lovely bit of old strudel. Brilliant. You know it's going to be good. It'll all make sense in the end. Happy Christmas. Wow. Me and my mum are going to make a delicious, proper, lovely chocolate mousse. And the reason I'm making it is because of chocolate. Over some simmering water, I've got 300 grams of really good quality chocolate, 70% cocoa. Don't let it boil, just really, really slowly let it melt. Mum, crack us some eggs, Tiger.
Right,
We're going to go egg yolks in there, we've got egg whites in here.
Right, yes.
8 eggs. This will serve about 8 to 10 portions, right? It's a mega, mega chocolate mousse.
Oh,
right?
have I done it the wrong way round?
No, that's all right, don't worry about it.
No.
No, don't worry, it's
Did you
okay.
say-
When you get to your age, you start to lose your memory a little bit.
He's not joking.
So I've got 3 bowls, 150 mils of cream. I've got another bowl with 8 egg yolks in, and then another bowl with egg whites in. Mum's going to whisk that up.
Oh no! Hang on, don't put me off. I will fish it out without getting any. You have to get. I've done it. Oh, well, nearly. Just kind of done it. Is that all right? You have to make sure you don't get yolk in it, don't you?
Yeah, normally.
That's good. That's all good.
Okay. When I invited you on this programme, I thought you were going to be like an asset, not like a you know, a disablement. I'm going to go 100 grams of sugar. I'm going to use unrefined sugar. I've got double cream here, which you can do. Welcome to the world of telly. And I'm going to do the egg yolks and the sugar. So it's a bit of whisking at the moment. You've got to go for it.
I'm looking forward to having you all at Christmas Day.
Yeah, I know. We're going to come round yours this year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because you've been round mine for the last 2 years.
That's what I thought. I thought it would be my turn. Be like the olden days.
Now, you know when egg whites are ready, don't you, Mum? You can hold it above your head. Go on, do it for me.
Oh,
it's
Jimmy,
Christmas.
Please don't make me. But
Please. I know, but what if it happened? Go on, hold it above your head.
That's so much
Be
fun.
quick. Look, I'll do it, look. Now you do it.
Oh, don't. I wouldn't have done that.
See how much fun you can have with your mum? You can see when the sugar's dissolved, because it's got that kind of lovely, silky, shiny, like, consistency. And then over here we've got double cream or whipping cream that's kind of like that, right? And then I'm going to add some good quality cocoa. 2 tablespoons. Just mix that in. And then there's some amaretto there, Mum. Pass us that, Tiger. Amaretto and chocolate. I like 2 peas in a pod. You know, you want about, I don't know, 3 shots. One thing I haven't done is put a little pinch of salt into the chocolate. And I worked with an amazing French chocolate maker back in the day. And he was all like, no matter what you do, always put a pinch of salt in your chocolate because it will bring the flavour out. And he was absolutely right. So, now we're going to just get it all going. Cream goes in, and then the chocolate will go in next. Mum used to make the most amazing chocolate cakes and sponges.
I still do, actually.
And brownies. And amazing sticky toffee pudding. Old English
You
stuff.
used to like that with custard. He loves custard.
Now, at this point in time, the egg whites go in, right? And we go to a nice folding action. because we want to retain those bubbles, and you're going to lose some of those bubbles. So you're going to fold from the outside to the inside, and it looks dodgy at the moment, but give me time.
Did I whip it enough?
Yeah, you did a great job, honestly.
Okay.
See it? Look at that. Mum, we're in a good place now.
Yeah. Do you remember that one Christmas morning, Father Christmas bought you that drum set?
Yeah, which looked just like the one that was in Freeman's catalogue.
Well, I'm sure that Father Christmas does get things from Freeman's catalogues.
Yeah. I remember, I used to like that. I used to like looking at the bras section. That was the best bit
Well, I
about
didn't know that
Freeman's
was going on.
catalogue. So, look, you could do 4 in glasses, but Mum, if you just bring that dish, I've got one that I made earlier. You like a family serve one. It's been in the fridge for like 2 hours. I kept it really rough. See that? It's a nice rustic dish, but actually inside it's silky and delicate and lovely. A bit of cocoa powder, you know, over the top is, you know, pretty much no problem at all. That is good enough to serve straight away, okay? But what I like to do, Mama, is, you know, if you go around the shops these days, you get these sour fruit. Try one of those, Mama. Basically, these are sour cherries. They're like, kind of like wine gums, really. And all I do is put them in a pan with a few lugs of amaretto, bring it to the boil, and let it stand, and you get this. You sort of rehydrate the cherries. So that's one little pimpage that I do. Second one is sesame snaps. And once you've bashed it up, you've actually got your own sesame seed praline, which is absolutely to die for. And any big crunches, you can just sort of bash up like that. Do you remember when you made that?
No, I didn't make that.
Right, I'm just being camp. I'm trying to be pretty, right? I'm trying to impress Mum.
I think it might have been mine, but I didn't make it.
At the age of 34, I can look after myself. Look, here we go.
That is lovely.
Beautiful. Kick-ass chocolate mousse. Gonna go in. A few of the old dried cherries over there. And then the sesame seed praline. Absolutely delicious. Really, really good. Go on, Mum, have a little try.
Ooh.
Make sure you get a bit of the old crunchy stuff.
It's lovely.
No one in the world in their right mind wouldn't love that.
It's nice for Boxing Day, definitely, I think.
Delicious. My mama. Okay, I'm going to give you a real quick fix. This is a nice little recipe to have up your sleeve to make use of any leftover pud, tart, torte, chocolate pie, you name it, and it's a delicious dessert and it takes 45 seconds to do. I've got some coffee here, good quality coffee, just a little batch there. I've got some chocolate mousse here, but it could be any dessert, just go straight to the bottom. Just get yourself a nice scoop of ice cream, a little shot of coffee. If it's for kids, and kids love it, you'd use decaffeinated coffee. And then I've got some amaretti biscuits. It's a great get you out of trouble dessert, and people will thank you for it. And then to serve it, just a teaspoon. There you go, a really nice little trick. Tastes absolutely fantastic. You get that whole mix of whatever it is at the bottom, the ice cream, the coffee, and then the crunchy bits. Delicious. Let's just think summer pudding, but it's not summer, it's winter, right? Mixed with an Arctic roll. I'm going to basically use this panettone to stop me having to go through the effort and pain of making a sponge. And you want about 5 slices. I've got 3 sheets of the cling film. I'm just going to use my hand and just loosen the cling film and just push it inside. I'm going to lay the sponge in like that, or the panettone. You're kind of making one nice single layer all the way around. You don't want it to be too thick at the bottom, so feel free to sort of pinch bits out from the bottom where it all doubles up. And then I'm going to use some raspberry jam, let's say about 3 or 4 tablespoons, maybe half a jar. So if I just show you this, that's what I've done there. Okay, nice thick layer of jam Looks really good. And then get 1 pot of ice cream. You can see it's kind of pretty much pliable. And that's your first layer, okay? Got some pistachios going in, a handful of sour tinned cherries here, like that. And what I'm going to do now is just use the spoon just to push, you know, the pistachios and the cherries in. You want a bit of a layer, but you also want them to move around a little bit as well. And then over here I've got some glacé fruit. You can buy bags of glacé fruit. I've got the whole ones here, so these are clementines. Really nice. It's quite nice to work fairly quickly because you don't want the ice cream to completely, you know, melt. This is a glacé melon. Any of that glacé fruit has that lovely tutti fruity sort of chewy quality, which is really nice in the middle of this. Get your clementines in. Then go for your last batch of ice cream. Okay, I'm just going to slice the bottom, just like that. Put the half in. And at this point, I'm just going to put a little bit of the Vinsanto, or a lovely sweet sherry, just around the edge, because that will drip down, you know, at least halfway down, which is good. A little bit over the bit of sponge there. All I do now is bring up the edge, so you're really looking after everything that's in there. And then I'll just cling film it one last time. And then what I normally do is get like a plate of some description and just press down. Just like that. And that'll just squash everything into a fairly good position. And then whack that in the freezer for at least 4 hours. This is one I did, you know, a few days ago. Now, here's the thing. You can make this weeks before, right? And you can put that in the freezer, just sitting there. And then whenever you want to have it, you just take it out of the freezer and put it in the fridge about an hour before. Then I unwrap it. You want the cling film because you can really yank it out. That is the shape of a classic old-fashioned sort of Victorian ice cream bomb. All I'm going to do to finish it is heat up a little bit of good quality, sort of 60–70% chocolate. Then just pour it. And any time within the next 5 minutes, this will be at its best. After 5 minutes, the temperature from inside will sort of set the chocolate hard, which isn't a bad thing, it just doesn't look as beautiful. Look at that. I mean, I just think it's retro beauty. And then just get yourself a little bit of holly and just plonk that on the top like that. Brilliant. You can see it starting to go hard now, see? The chill sort of go up it. Get that knife in there. First one's always a little awkward. But there you go. Look at that little baby. Now, to me, that is Christmassy. I mean, it's kind of got everything. It's got the chocolate, it's got the spongy, it's got the sherry, it's got the ice cream, it's creamy, it's chewy, it's sweet, it's sour, and people will go mad for it. And it is easy to put together. It kind of makes you feel happy when you've done it, because ultimately it's a glorified sandcastle, isn't it, that you can eat. It's good. What more do you want? Happy Christmas.
Let me introduce clementine jelly. It's very good.
These are my little nephews, and I'm their uncle.
In the holidays, they're the kids away from sitting watching telly. All you need's these magic words. Come and make some jelly.
Why am I the best uncle?
You went to Cambridge and you chucked a stink bomb in the middle of people and they went mad. And they went like, oh.
They go to a nice school and then I like to take them back to the real world. Right, we're making clementine jelly. You can make any flavour you like, clementine, orange, apple juice, pear juice, you name it, apart from kiwi or pineapple. Why is that, kids?
The acid in the thing makes it go slushy.
Who taught you that?
You.
Oh, yeah, well, that's why. 5 little sheets of gelatin.
Ooh!
Yes. Put your 5 sheets of gelatin in some cold water and in about 2 minutes they'll soften up. Just going to juice a few clems. Do you want to do that, kids?
Yeah, sure.
Juice it in here. 600 millilitres of clementines. That's about 20 in number, but you just got to measure it and see how you go. About half the juice we put into a pan. And if you want to sweeten that, with a little sugar, just a little bit to take the edge off it because it's a little sour. You can just sort of mix in to taste. And then ginger, I'm going to take the smallest little piece, just going to do about half of that, and that tiny little squeezing of ginger will just give it a little kick. So look, literally in 2 minutes, can you see what's happened to the gelatin there?
Yeah.
It's softened up. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And then the lovely Henry is going to pick that up and put it into the juice, one at a time. Pass that to James.
Thanks. I'm going to have this one. Anymore? Yep.
And then stir it, James.
It said James.
Rest of the juice goes in. And the thing is, you can put a jelly in anything, a big jelly mould, into like a glass bowl, a bunny rabbit shaped mould. I'm just going to do these in glasses because us boys are quite cool, aren't we, boys? And we don't need.
We don't need little bunny rabbits.
No, because.
Like girls.
Yeah, girls. Have you got a girlfriend?
No.
Sure.
They stink.
That's nice of you. Have a little peel up, boys. Just stick your thumb in there. There you go. Go for it. How much do you like cooking?
100%.
100%.
Great. One of my favourite things to do.
Yeah? What's your favourite food in the world?
Oh, spare ribs.
Spare ribs. Yours?
Gnocchi.
Gnocchi. And yours?
Christmas pudding.
Oh. A few pieces of clementine in the bottom of the glass. Go on, you plop them in, guys. So, here we are. We've got our lovely jellies. What I want you to do is put equal amounts of the jelly in each glass. So you hold this over each one. Good. That's a nice, confident pour. Oh, very confident. Yeah, well done, mate. And then go back and make them all even.
Oh, James.
That's it. It's good. You know, you're always going to make a mess with the kids. That's what it's all about. You can't be scared of it. That's enough. That's really good. Really, really good. And what we're going to do now is just pop them into the fridge. And then after about 2 hours, they're going to be nice and firm and wibbly and wobbly. So let me show you some that I did earlier, boys.
I'll hold the fridge.
Thank you, Billy. After about 2 hours, these will chill nice like that. Look at the frost on those little babies. And then we're going to put yoghurt on top. You like yoghurt, boys?
Yes.
Live yoghurt. And then I've got here a new thing that I've never seen before. It's like a vanilla sort of syrup in a little jar. And you can get it in decent supermarkets. But also you could use vanilla extract. And you could sweeten it if you want, but definitely my missus would say not to. And then I'm just going to put a nice little dollop of this in the middle. Just a little gesture. You don't want loads. Do you like the look of this, boys?
Yeah. Yes. Can I finish off the spoon after you've done
Yeah, why am I doing it? You should be doing it. I'm taking up all... I shouldn't. Bad Uncle Jamie.
Yes.
So right in the middle, about the same amount. There you go. That's it. A little bit more. Good boy. There you go.
There.
And then another thing to do, which is really, really good, is open a packet of chocolate, put it sort of next to my thigh here, get a knife, and just shave it like that. And once you've done that, you can just put a whole load like that on there. Do you like the look of that, boys?
Yes.
It's hardly any chocolate, that's the reality. If you can't do that, just get yourself a little grater and you could just grate it like that. Best bit now, boys. You run round there and get in the sleigh. There you go. Take your nice little clementine jelly and see how slowly you can eat it. And I was joking when I said that.
Slowly?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And do you know the way to do it?
Yes. Slurp it.
Yes, slurp it. Try and suck it all up. And that's the correct way to eat jelly.
Yes.
The thing about that clementine juice, they're so good at this time of year. Turn it into a jelly, they'll go mad for it. Kids, do you like that?
Yes. Yes. Best jelly I've ever had.
No one can resist it, it's such wibbly wobbly fun. Shaking on the plate just like some big fat ladies. Rum-pum-pum.
We like making jelly, it really makes us giggly. It starts off sort of runny, but it turns out really wiggly.
Look at that. party time.
No one can resist it, it's such wibbly wobbly fun. Shaking on the plate just like some big fat ladies. Rum-pum-pum.
We like making jelly, it really makes us giggly. It starts off sort of runny, but it turns out really wiggly.
Oh, sorry kids, you'll have to wait. It needs some time to set.
Okay, so we're having a party tonight, family and friends. I'm going to do a bit of cooking, get some jobs done and out of the way, and then I've got a few little things for them to eat, which I'm going to do at the very last minute that are going to be dead simple, and I can even get them, you know, the friends, to do a bit of the work as well. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to make a delicious, homemade chicken liver parfait, which basically means a pate. Brilliant, brilliant party food. You can make it days, in actual fact, a week in advance. First of all, I want to get your head around something. Clarified butter. You literally put a pack of butter in a pan in about 20 minutes. It's on a really low heat or a pilot light. What you get is a separation of the golden sort of fat of the butter and then the milky whey. So the fat goes to the top, the milk goes to the bottom, or the whey, right? It's the whey part that makes butter burn, right? This part here can actually go to very high temperatures. So we're going to clarify the butter, and it will look like this, completely clear. You just skim it off the top, and it only takes half an hour. I'm going to put it on a medium heat now. I've got a frying pan on as well. I'm just going to put a sage leaf just in. When I start to see that really frying, I know that I'm at a good temperature. So I've got 2 red onions that I've peeled, finely chopped. Hot pan, little olive oil. Onions go in. Got 2 cloves of garlic in here as well. Put it back on the heat. A little bunch of thyme, like this. At this time of year, just wash your thyme under some hot water to bring it back to life. In with the herbs. Let them fry. Nice and fast for a few minutes. While we're here, just pick the sage. Right, so I think that oil is pretty hot now. There you go. I'm just going to put all of these in. Don't really heat it up. That's why I put that leaf in it. As soon as it kind of looks fairly frizzled and fried up, then literally all I've got to do is take it off the heat now. And that residual heat will cause that sage to go crispy and snappy and delicious, but at the same time it's flavoured that butter. So that's all good now. I'm going to let that just cool down in itself. So look, here we go. Look at the sort of colour we got here. These have had about 4 minutes. Have a little taste. You want them to be softened. Yeah. So I'm going to add my chicken livers. Order some lovely free-range or organic chicken livers, totally underused. People have lost the knack of knowing how to cook it, and they overcook it and it goes livery. If I fry that in a large hot pan on full whack for about 4 minutes, that's just going to be blushing on the inside. That's what you want. If you cook the hell out of that now, you're just making all the proteins go tough, you know, and you want silk. You want silkiness on that bit of toast when you bang it in your gob. So this is at about 3.5 minutes. I'm going to put a ladle, let's say 2 shots of brandy into my lovely liver. If you want to flame it, there you go. That's at about just over 4.5 minutes now of cooking. Let's have a little look. It's sort of blushing in the middle. It's juicy. It's not overcooked. So just add all of that in there. Whack it on. So wazz it up and have a little look. All of a sudden it starts to look a little bit like pate, doesn't it? Have a little taste. Season it with salt and pepper. to a degree where you're happy, and then add a little bit more, because the seasoning goes down when it's cold, and you're going to serve it cold, aren't you? Whiz it up, and you want 1 pack of good quality butter, yeah? About 250 grams. Just add it bit by bit. Last one. So after about a minute, take some of the pate here and just start to push it through like that. It's making it even silkier and smoother. And you pop this in the fridge for about 2 hours, okay? And that'll firm up like a traditional pate. So it will look like this. This is a wonderful, easy thing that you can get in the bag, done a week before Christmas or any parties, okay? That's why I did and went to the trouble of getting my clarified butter. Put the sage on the top of your parfait. This is enough here for the 2 that I made, but I'm just showing you this one that I did earlier. Put these in and around like that, and then get that clarified butter. It's going to go hard, almost like a wax topping. So there's no air able to get into that chicken liver parfait. So that's why it'll sit in your fridge quite happily for a week. Let me show you one I've done. That's what it's going to end up looking like, okay? I'm just going to put it together now, just the way I like it. What I'm going to do for the party is literally have a board, have some bread, you know, a carving knife next to a toaster, have this sitting there, and it's just, you know, people can help themselves. You know, they don't need to be spoon-fed. Just toast some of these. I haven't got a toaster in here, so I'll show you my griddle pan version. Nice serve with a little pile of cornichons, watercress. Nice pile of toast, like that. Look, let me just put some on the board so you can see it. Beautiful. Right, let me show you how to do one. Use the back of a spoon, dessert spoon, sort of fill it up like that, and then literally squash it on. No apologies at all. Heavenly. A few of my little man, Mr. Cornichon, our little French friend. Bit of watercress. It's easy. Bang. Bit of bread, you know, bit of cornichon. Bring out the parfait. Have a toaster set up. Let them get on with it. You can chill, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. And that's it. Easy peasy. Oh, why can't I eat like Nigella? Okay, I'm gonna do some lovely drinks for Christmas. First of all, shot glasses. Go buy some, keep them in the freezer. Having them freezing cold like these little babies, defrosting in front of you, it's a temperature thing, you know, it's exciting. Take your weapon of choice, you know, vodka, good gin. I'm gonna use some tequila. Freeze your glasses. Get some pomegranates. Little trick here, put your hands open like that. Get yourself a spatula or a spoon and just fill these little babies up. And even though I'm missing all of them, forgive me, because it's artistic. Get your tequila, put a shot in there, half fill it, you don't have to go mental. But honestly, you know, I'm not saying do 10 of them. Yeah. Capsules, sweetness, boom, boom, burst, burst, burst. Tequila, yes, mother, Friday night, it's all gonna kick off. But also, it's nice to have one of these to kick the night off. Happy days. Right, now, instead of doing mulled wine, I'm doing mulled cider. Absolutely delicious. So go and get some decent scrumpy, bang it into a pan. We're gonna bring it up to a simmer and serve it. What you choose to put in it is really down to your personal taste. So, you know, for me, mulled anything is about cloves, nutmeg, cinnamon, star anise, a little bit of ginger. Absolutely a help from Mr. Clementine or Tangerine. Simmer the old cider. You know, that's about 2 litres of cider there. 6 cloves will dramatically change how that story is going to be now. My little push on it is star anise. The seed on the inside is aniseed, but the kind of carcass around it has a kind of savoury sort of frumpiness in a nice way. You know, they'll go in here. 1/4 of a nutmeg for a couple of litres. Now, vanilla and cinnamon. Stick of cinnamon goes in, keep tasting it, right? And if you think it's getting too cinnamony, if you think it's getting too cinnamony, then you take it out. So you got to control that. Stick goes in. Put your knife tip in at the end, right in the middle of that vanilla. It's all going in. So orange juice goes in with special effects. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? So clementine goes in. A little bit of sugar kind of convinces it that it's mulled cider. It's like a potion, look at that. Like an old witch's potion. There's just over a litre of cider there, you know, 4 or 5 tablespoons of sugar, but you know, ultimately you add and taste, add and taste. Now I want to take you to a place where the girls will love, but the butchmen of the world might condemn me for. Good shot, but that won't be going in my compost. I'm going to go and get a chosen weapon. Could be gin, could be vodka, tequila. If you come from Brazil, you might like the cachaça. Yes, you know. And I want to turn it into a walking, talking virtual freezer. Because as we all know, this stuff is better frozen. So, I'm going to pour water in here. Here's one I did earlier. Go and get something off an old bush, right? Whatever's on the hedges outside, shove it all down there like that. So you can put spices in there, bits of cinnamon or clove, rosemary, bay, various evergreen berries, holly. Now you're talking. Go and be creative. Get that bottle, shove it down there. Berries are particularly good, might I add. What I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze this in a freezer so you can take a couple of drawers out, and then once it's frozen solid, you put it under hot tap and you get rid of this plastic sleeve, and you're left with this beautiful sort of ice carving, sculpture-y, shining, glistening, portable freezer that you put on a plate and you pour from it and it stays with it. It looks brilliant. Tonight, when we have a little bit of a party up, you know, I'll be unleashing these beasts. Brilliant. Now, let's try this mulled wine. Let's get a little glass up. The sugar and the cider and all those spices do create one hell of a dish. Look at that. Beautiful. Investing in that one vanilla pod, right, just seems to be like a little poke of specialness. Really, really nice. Look at that. What a nice change. Right, I'm going to make the most incredible soup. Whether it's Christmas time, spring, autumn, summer, this rocks my boat. It's using all of these beautiful Asian spices. The lime leaves are a little hard to find. You can get them in pretty much all good Asian or ethnic stores. But all this other stuff you can get in supermarkets. So first things first, I've got about 7 kaffir lime leaves. I'm going to get some lemongrass here. I'm going to take the ends off. And then all I'm going to do is just give it a really good slap. So when you bash it like that, they smell absolutely delicious. I'm going to go in with a couple of cloves of garlic and then chilli. Now, if you want to take the seeds out, absolutely you can. Basically, the seeds do hold the aggressive heat. And then coriander. Right, I'm going to use this top part for garnish. And then these stalks here go in as well. And then ginger, take the skin off. About a thumb-sized piece of ginger. I'm going to put that in the mixer there. Salt, and don't need pepper, just wazz it up. It takes 30 seconds. And then I'm going to add some olive oil. It's just going to let all the flavours mix. So that's mixed up. Then a nice spice here, 5 spice, a nice heaped teaspoon. Perfume spices like cloves, star anise and cinnamon. So one of those goes in, and then like a flat teaspoon of ground cumin. Wazz that up. And then we go straight over to a pan. Pan's on a medium heat. Start to fry that off, and that's going to awaken all of those spices. And then it's kind of nice to move pretty quickly. Onion, half it. Finely slice it, take that into the pan, keep it moving. Right, let them sweat off for a couple of minutes. I'm going to put butternut squash in there. Don't be scared of the skin. It goes sweet and soft and chewy like candy, right? It's beautiful. Just take these seeds out. Chop it into inch-ish pieces, okay? Then we go over to our pan. The onions are sort of softening up. Squash goes in. Give it a little toss up. And then add about a pint of chicken stock. Get it on full whack. Cook that for about 10 minutes. But here's one that I started earlier. This has been cooking for about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to add 200 grams of rice. Give it a little wash to get rid of some starch, just to keep it nice and kind of light and fluffy. I'm going to add that rice. And then it's really quick to finish with the coconut milk and seasonings and stuff like that. So let that cook for 10 minutes and then I'll show you what to do. So this is at about 10 minutes now. I'm going to add 2 tins of the coconut milk. There you go. Get your coconut milk in there, and that's your link that turns it into that kind of thick, beautiful soup. The minute that comes to the boil, it's ready to be served. If you go to the side of this pan and you squash the squash, it's not right or wrong. You know, some people like to keep it chunky, so there's a bit of bite there. I do a bit of both, actually. Just going to roll on the line to make it more juicy. Nice. Okay, so lime juice is going to really help that. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to hack up the top of a pumpkin, carve it out, pop it in an oven at 100 for like 40 minutes, just so it's warm. And then I'm going to pour this soup in there and have the ladle sticking out of it. Let's just serve it up. Take a nice spoonful of our soup. The sort of heat in this is amazing for winter time and the cold weeks. But also in the summer, the chilli makes you sweat, which cools you down ultimately as well. So it's a real all-rounder. And you know, you can always go to the bottom of the pan and just get a few chunks as well. Take a nice little pinch of the tops of the coriander. Some chilli on top, like that. Tiny bit of olive oil. That is definitely a soup to be reckoned with. If this is a good soup, then I'll bend the spoon. That's a good soup. So, nearly party time. I've got my togs on, I look the business. I've got my mates coming in about 10-20 minutes, got my bits and pieces done, my mulled cider, I've got my chicken liver parfait, I've got my soup ready to go. We're going to do a little cheese fondue, which is so easy when they get here, frankly, it's that easy. But what I want to focus you on now is combos, really good things that spank your taste buds, where you can do stuff or you can even get your mates to do it and it's good fun. So when I say combos, I mean things like this. For instance, we've got Parma ham or prosciutto, that lovely salted ham with a piece of fig, a bit of mint and some mozzarella. So with the figs here, cut these into quarters. We've got the Parma ham, which frankly I'm just going to take straight out of the pack and put here like that. You know, a little bit of mozzarella, some mint, just bang it there. That is basically a canapé waiting to happen. Let me show you what I mean. I can just pinch a little bit of the mozzarella, like this. I'll take a piece of mint, right? Mint and fruit and cheese and salty cured ham is amazing. I'm basically going to stab that, as you can see. A little bit of fig, stab that. Take a little bit of the old prosciutto, and then just basically wrap it around, just like that. And there you have a modern, exciting, beautiful mouthful. Olive oil. Delicious. Really, really good. Let's talk about this one. We've got smoked salmon, cress, pickled beetroot, horseradish. You put those combos together, win-win every single time. And all I'm saying to do is you could take a little slice like this. Inside it, you put your little bit of horseradish, a little bit of beet. Go heavy on the horseradish as well. A little bit of the old cress. Pinch it together. You know, you can put that on a spoon. Everything's nice with a tiny little bit of olive oil, right? Squeeze a lemon juice. That is a brilliant little mouthful. Every time. Bresaola. Bresaola is an Italian cured beef, right? You got some coleslaw, you can make it or buy it, like that. A couple of cornichon, and then you can literally just pinch it up like that, and you stab it. Just like that. This is about you either doing it and being happy to do it, which is I am, this is easy, or delegating it, you know what I mean, and getting other people to contribute. Believe in the power, in the combos. Party time.
With boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Join me now our gay apparel, fa la la la.
Come on, Tigers! Here you go. Here you go, gorgeous. Does anyone want to try some soup?
Strike the harp and join the chorus, la 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 la.
Right, so fondue, just 2 shallots in there, a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, stir it up. We sweat those off with a little pinch of salt and a little bit of cider. Or it could be white wine, and then you cook it down to nothing. 400 grams of cheddar. 400 grams of Gruyere, there's a lot of people here, and 150 grams of blue cheese of interest. Throw some thyme in there, and then 2 tablespoons of creme fraiche. You see there's a little bit of water, you put it on a low heat, and then that just melts. This is not bad for your health. Fondue's looking good. It takes about 20 minutes to slowly melt. It's really retro, it's really delicious, and it works an absolute treat. Okay guys, thanks for coming. I love you all. I just want to wish you a very, very happy Christmas.
How do you know it's really Christmas time? Is it when you see a snowman? Snowman. Is it when you hear a sleigh? It's not reaching in your stocking to pull out a sugar mouse. It's when the smell of roasting turkey fills the house. It's when the smell of roasting turkey fills the house. It's not reaching in your stocking to pull out a sugar mouse. It's when the smell of roasting turkey fills the house.